Hello friends, I hope this finds you utterly sensational. I'm Chris THRALL, I'm a former Royal Marine, and when I'm not hosting the popular Bought the T-shirt podcast or doing reaction videos, I like to do a bit of bushcraft. And I thought today we can, let's get the studio sorted out. I thought today I'd show you what I've been working on. So first off, hello to everyone in the chat. Should we have a look at the intro again? I made this myself. Yes, and the artwork there, none other than the Angry Bootneck. So hello Matt, if you ever get a chance to watch this. So this morning I've been doing a video for Instagram. Let me just show you this one. You won't believe how long just a 1-minute video can take. Let's have a look. Oh. Hello legends, did anyone recognize the picture? There you go. I've been busy getting out there smashing life, and I've been working on my bushcraft knife. There you go, with my very own THRALL and bear claw logo. Completely self-taught, folks, off YouTube. If you'd like to see a longer video on making the bushcraft knife, get onto my YouTube channel. It's just another reminder, get out there and get out and smash your life. Much love. There we go, hang on. Yes, hello to Frank in the chat. How are you, sir? Great you can join us, Frank, and you made it on time this time. Because I know you often miss the lives because I do them at short notice. So yeah, there you saw my intro, and I didn't know if some of you were old enough to remember this one. It's by Nigel Foster, and it's called The Making of a Royal Marine Commando. That's why I got the idea for the thumbnail for this video. And this was the book to read back in the day if you're thinking about joining the Royal Marines. This had it all in there. And the funniest anecdote in here is when a Royal Marines officer stayed at an army barracks, and it was for a guards regiment. And he sat at breakfast in the officers' mess in the morning, and he leans across to a guard who's unusually wearing his, you know, the big hats. What are they called? Begins with B, doesn't it? Not Beefeater, but you get what I mean. Somebody put it in the comments below the video. And this chap's wearing his headdress, and so the Marines officer says again, excuse me, could you pass the sugar please? And the guard turns to him and says, when a guardsman wears his headdress down to breakfast, it means he doesn't want to be disturbed. At which point the Royal Marines officer stands up on the breakfast table, walks along it, shoves his boot into the guard's breakfast and says, when a Royal Marine puts his boot in your cornflakes, it means pass the effing sugar. Don't know how much truth there is to that one, but it is funny. Bearskin, yeah, that's David's got it. So anyway, right, let me show you what I've been making, and I've been taking my time doing this. It hasn't been a quick process. I've sort of been spinning it out over the last couple of years or so. but it's really good fun. For anyone that likes bushcraft, and you might watch a bit of Ray Mears, and you know Ray, he's got his own brand of knife, and I started getting in watching knife making videos, which are really, really interesting to watch. One of the sort of better things on YouTube, you can say. And one day I thought, I'll have a go at that. And I'd bought some antler, some deer's antler, at a bushcraft festival years earlier. And it's for this bit here. Can you let me know if you can see my cursor in the chat? It's for making the handle. And so I had this deer antler for years and years just tucked away in the garage. And finally I thought, right, I'm going to make this knife. I thought it would just be a case of buying a bushcraft blade and putting the knife together. Then I realized that you can actually make the blade. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Hang on. I'll show you a bit better. Excuse the state of it. It was all shiny, and if you leave it for a while, they start to get a bit of rust on them. So yeah, when I realized you can make a blade, then I bought some 001 steel, which has got a high carbon content. And then I thought I'd better buy a grinder, so I bought the bench grinder. Then I bought another bench grinder. Then I ended up either buying all the tools to make knives, or making it myself, which I'll come on to. So there's your bushcraft knife. This is a sort of a Finnish knife, from Finland, and they say that the sign of a good knife sheath is if you try to throw the knife out of it or cast the knife out of it. If it sticks in there, it's a good sheath. And these knives obviously would have gone back to the Sama people. The what are they called? What do we call them? We don't call them Sama, but you know, the indigenous tribes that lives in the north of Scandinavia. Again, somebody put it in the chat. Yes, so there you go. I found a knife on YouTube that I like the look of, and drew it out on a piece of paper. It's the first stage. Then you cut it out, surprise, surprise. Then you stick it on your 001 steel. And the thing about having a high carbon content is it means the blade will remain flexible because of the steel that's in it, but the carbon allows you to get a really sharp edge. There you go. There's some metal workshop type information. Can't say I was really that into that, but you can see the carbon content there. Someone who knows more what they're doing would that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Quite thick, this steel. That's what, 4mm. Makes the blade really heavy, gives you a bit of chopping power. There's my gallery. There's my gallery in the garage. I'm just going to I'm just going to refresh the chat, guys, because it looks like it's paused. Oh, maybe not. Frank, can you just write something in the chat, because I can't seem to see any of your comments unless there aren't any. So yeah, so there's the knife drawn out. Then you've got to cut it out. If you haven't got a bandsaw, then you have to cut it out with the grinder. And as you can see, you get through quite quite a fair few grinding blades. And there I just laid it out with a rough approximation of what it would look like when it's got the handle on. And I decided pommel and the handguard, you can see there the handguard, I think that's tungsten. It's got a really nice colour to it. It's sort of in between brass and steel. And yesterday I spent with my thread borers. Again, I can't even think of the names because I'm sort of quite new to this, but the tools that you cut a thread with. So I put a thread onto the end of the tang and then drilled a hole into the pommel there, obviously, and then cut some thread into it. And tentatively, I put the two bits together and turn the pommel. Unfortunately, it's screwed on nice and secure. Tap and die. Well done, Richard. You're being an absolute legend today. You can be my right hand man in the man cave, mate. So what else we got here? That's just, like I say, to give me a rough idea how it would look. I decided to put a saw on it just because, why not? And there you can see my logo below it with a bear claw. That logo, you make yourself a little machine using a power pack. So like a mobile phone charger, you take it apart, you what do? You attach some crocodile clips to it, and then you cut out your stencil, and then I think you use lemon juice on the surface of the metal, and when you run the current through it, it etches your logo out. Again, it's quite a clever process. This was my own invention, a bit of Heath Robinson there, but I wondered if I shoved the two drills together on the workbench, whether I'd be able to grind what do you call it? The bevel, the sharpness of the blade. It's called the grind, and yeah, it worked quite well. It's quite surprising. You just have to run the blade through enough times, and then I use the bench grinder as well, or the bench sander, I should say. There we go. Yeah, just like that. And finishing it off on the bench sander, shining the blade, and once you've sanded them with a really light sandpaper or God, all the names are escaping me today, but a bit of wet and dry, and then you put it on the polisher, it really comes up sparkling, almost like a mirror. Hello, Colin. Oh, thank you, Royal. Really appreciate that. Colin's saying he enjoys the podcast. That's from a brother, Raw Marine. There's my Dremel. Bought all the kit. Can't say I've used a whole lot of it, but the Dremel's good for carving. You can see, where are we? You can see the this bit here, this hollow. The Dremel was good for grinding that bit out. There you go. Needn't have shown you, had I? Dun, dun, dun. It's amazing when you see your knife taking shape to to be honest, I normally would have screwed something up by now, and I managed to keep it all tight on this bit of metal work. When I was at school, I used to just overfile something or grind it down too much and end up having to start again. You can see there where I've marked the saw on the back of it. Feel like we're going round in. Oh, it would help if I went the right way through the slides. And this is the oven, the furnace, because once you've cut your blade and you've shaped it and you've given it a rough sharpen, you've got to temper the steel. And unless you're rich enough to buy a furnace or you happen to have one, you have to build one yourself using fire bricks and fire cement and a blowtorch or 2 blowtorches. Frank's saying, where's the sticky back plastic? Didn't teach you how to make these on Blue Peter, mate, huh? There's a hole for my blowtorch. Shaping the chamber using the cement. I'll show you a video of this going in a moment. Shaping the entrance so you keep as much heat in as possible. You've got to really get this blade hot until it glows cherry red. And when it glows cherry red, that's your indicator to shove it into a bucket of oil. Sticking it together. Not sure, not sure what I was doing there. Smoothing off the cracks so no air can get into it or no heat can escape. Yeah, you can see it comes up pretty shiny. There's my the logo I figured out for myself. And this is the hand guard, I guess you call it. The hand guard, the finger guard. It's not the easiest of things in the world to drill out. But again, I quite surprised myself managing to do it all with a drill and a file. That's a bench drill. And then I just filed it out to get it rectangular. Only managed to snap one file doing that. And that was me yesterday, just doing the tap and die, Richard, wasn't it? Yeah, John's saying, shame I got no access to a forge. I did have someone offer to make me a bushcraft knife. In fact, no, it was the Sykes Fairbairn, the Commando knife. Someone contacted me from Austria, I think it was, and then they never got back to me. So, do you fancy seeing some videos? I won't bore you too much, but let's see what we've got. Dun, dun, dun. Better put some headphones on to stop the feedback loop. Turn the volume up a bit. Is this me using the furnace? I'm not sure. Sounds like it. Getting the blade ready to put it in. I think I'm using the grips. What are they called? Mole grips? There we go, heating up the knife blade now. It's quite obvious when it's ready to quench because it glows this specific cherry red colour. And is it something about Rogue? You'll probably know the answer to this. I think when it loses its magnetism, that's also another sign that it's ready. It's because the molecules start to shift or some such thing. Mole grips, yep, there we go. Just checking the colour in the darkness or in the shade. Shouldn't really trust a boot neck with fire, but hey ho. Oh. I don't know what because I cut the slits inside, I managed to fit it in. The problem now is I think I've placed the inlet valve of the jet of the gas too far back, so one end of the knife is getting cherry red and it's losing the magnetism, but the other end is hardly getting red at all. So rather than just go ahead and quench it for the sake of it, I think I'm just better to adjust the furnace slightly and then see how we get on. I think you're right, sir. I'm grinding the handguard here, obviously. For this first knife, I just wanted everything to be sort of traditional. Obviously, bushcraft knives don't generally have a hand protection. They just have the blade and the handle. But I just wanted to kind of almost make like a stereotypical sheath knife. It's really handy having the right tools as well. It's making my furnace. Excuse the upside down video. Come around this side and you can get the message. Look at that. Isn't my boy good at filming? He's only 6 years old. Gets it all in shot and everything. And oh, son. And he won't stay here. Oh. I think we're going for it again here, are we? Is this the one? I think it might be. at the colour of that. Into the oil. That's a Yorkshire tea tin, as you can probably see. But what I did is I bought myself an ammunition can, a sort of 7.62 ammunition can, and works really well because when you've used it, you can obviously shut the ammo can and save your oil for another time. After you've done this, you have to put it in the oven, and probably Rogue State's going to be able to tell me why you do that. I can't quite remember, but you've got to, once you've tempered this steel, this putting it in the oven for I think it's something like 4 hours. I can't quite remember. It might have been an hour. Again, it makes it stronger again. Oh.
Hello.
I'm not sure if we've seen all this. Yeah, so that's about it, friends. Quite really good fun. Thanks to everyone who's joined us in the chat, by the way. Yeah, just really good fun hobby. Wish I had more spare time, that I could put more time to it. Might go and do a little bit today. It's quite addictive. Yeah, I'd recommend anybody gets involved. You can make these knives out of any old steel. People make them out of old axes, bits of railway line, you know, the pins that hold down the railway lines, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, really good fun. Okay, folks, have a massively brilliant weekend. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.